guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Dull Duck, and this is a speech package asking the question of which Star Wars trilogy do you prefer and why? So Michael, what is your favourite Star Wars trilogy and why?
I don't really know if I'd have a preference. I think, because I grew up watching the prequels, like what are 1, 2 and 3, whatever they are called. So I kind of like them more. And then I found 4, 5 and 6 when I was a bit older. So I have more memories of the 1, 2 and 3, but I'm kind of torn down the middle on which one's actually better.
Alright, and do you have a favourite Star Wars film? And if you do, why is that?
I'd say Revenge of the Sith, because I think it's a good film. It gets a lot of flack, but I think it's a very good film. It's got some good effects. The story culminates very well in him. He chokes his wife. She's been this image of sort of what he loves and what he fights for, and then he ends up choking her. He doesn't kill her then. And then she dies in the childbirth of the two protagonists of the original trilogy. And that fight scene at the end with Obi-Wan is just amazing, I think. I really love it.
Hi Aidan, what would be your favourite trilogy and why?
The original trilogy is my favourite. It used to be the prequels were, because I grew up watching them as well. But the older I got, the more I realised it's more about story than just fancy CGI. And I think the CGI and that's really useless as well.
What would be your favourite Star Wars film and why?
My favourite Star Wars film would be A New Hope, because I think everything about it is just amazing. From the dialogue to even just the puppets. I hate the re-releases though, because they're just pointless CGI, really distracting from the story.
Hi Connell, so tell me, what is your favourite Star Wars trilogy and why?
My favourite Star Wars trilogy is the prequels, especially Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. Episode 1 and 3 being because I was growing up as a child watching them, and I just loved them from the start. And at the end, spoiler, when Qui-Gon gets killed by Darth Maul, I actually cried as a kid watching it, and I used to have like the whole costume and the wee thing Anakin has that says you're like an apprentice, and I just really got into it from then on then.
Alright, very interesting. So your favourite film is Phantom Menace, yeah?
Yeah, Phantom Menace is my favourite film, and I also love The Revenge of the Sith because it just builds Anakin's character so well, I think, in that sense. I just loved it from that.
Alright, so I'm going to get you to watch an interview here that Mark Hamill gave when he defends both the prequels and Jake Lloyd.
I couldn't believe some of the things they wrote about the prequels, but really beyond I didn't like it. You ruined my childhood, and I'm still angry about the way they treated Jake Lloyd. He was only 10 years old, that boy, and he did exactly what George wanted him to do. Believe me, I understand clunky dialogue. I almost got hornswoggled in that documentary where they weren't calling it The People versus George Lucas at the time, but I could tell from the questions they were asking me, it was an open invitation to trash George. And I have issues with George, but I love that man. I would never, and I don't talk outside the family. It's just brutal. One of the reasons I would never let my kids be in show business. Wait till you're 18, because it's going to be an endless life of rejection, ridicule, and unemployment.
So you've just watched that interview, and how does it make you feel?
I think you can tell that he's really angry and he really is upset because, like he said, he was 10 and he was just doing what he was told, and people just slaughtered him online. And I think I've read a few stories, people made fun of him in school and stuff, and it definitely was not the child's fault that those movies are as bad as they are.
I think he's right. I think people do criticise the prequels too much because the original trilogy was a lot to live up to and people were just let down by it. But if you actually do watch them, they actually are pretty good. Like, there are some bad dialogue and some bad CGI, but there's some of that in the re-releases as well, and I still love them.
I think what you said about the interview is quite true. The prequels do get a lot of flack and just get a lot of a lot of people, they don't like them, but I think it really builds on the Star Wars trilogies, and I just really like them as a whole movie itself, and I just agree with him with what he was saying.
Thanks guys for taking the time to watch this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.